Bezrat Hashem, we're back in the limud of Halachot Shabbat Shulchan Aruch, Mishnah Berurah with Mazliach, Siman Reish Mem Hey. Today is the 29th, Erev Rosh Hashanah, 29th of Elul. Bezrat Hashem, Shana should be great, come to us in good health and good brachot.
אחרי שאתם מסיימים, תחזירו את הגמרות ואת השולחן למעלה.
למה למעלה? לא, אתה שם?
לא משנה פה שום דבר.
אוקיי, אני אגיד למלכיאל, אין בעיה. אוקיי. So, Bezrat Hashem, we are, today is the Wednesday, the fourth day of the week of Parashat Shabbat, Parashat Ha'azino, Parashat Shabbat Shuvah, Bezrat Hashem. So we continue from yesterday. We're actually going to start Mishnah Berurah, and we'll see where there are going to be discrepancies and understanding exactly, as we saw yesterday, there was a machloket between Maran and Rema already, in reference to if there was no partnership before commencement of the business with the goy, and the Maran is very mahmir, that the Jew is not allowed to take anything out of it, and the Rema says there are actually some heterim where the goy works on Shabbat without you telling him anything, and therefore the Jew could have actual benefit from the profits that his money was used for to bring in the profits. As long as obviously there was no words or a transfership of the responsibility of a Jew on a goy, that would be a problem. So we'll just continue. We'll go to Mishnah Berurah Sif Katan Aleph. Sadeh, right? So the question Mishnah Shulchan Aruch said, what kind of partnerships in the field or oven or a bathhouse, right? Those things, or a mill, grinding mill for the flour. So he says like this. But okay, so before we do that, actually, Mishnah Berurah, I skipped him by mistake. Go up one paragraph. He says this is a very important concept before you start elaborating on Mishnah Shulchan Aruch. What he wants, I need you to know this, says Mishnah Berurah. So let's read the paragraph right before Sif Katan Aleph. Israel. Right? The partnership here is between a Jew and a goy. So it says like this. Israel ve'en Yehudi v'chulu. Says Mishnah Berurah. What does this mean over here that the Jew is making a partnership with a goy? Da heter hagamur hu be'im Israel yesh lo eze esek o melacha b'shutafut im ha'en Yehudi. The whole permission that we have where a Jew is doing a partnership with a goy, that they have to make a conditions. Shiatnu mitchila kodem shelochin b'shutafut. That before they make before they combine their monies, their principle is going to be this word is going to be used many times in Mishnah Berurah. The principle, which is very important. Who owns the principle? In reference to all this in this discussion. So it says before they do any principle mixture, before the partnership, they should make a condition. Avod ata b'Shabbat. The condition is goy. Right now, the Jew who tells a goy, he could tell the goy right now, you work on Shabbat. Why is it now is important? Because in reality, yesterday as we discussed, there are 70 hours a week, and if the partnership commences without the condition, it's 70 hours of responsibility on both. And therefore, when a Jew tells him, I became religious, you work on Shabbat, is actually giving over his responsibility to the goy. That is the problem. However, says the Shulchan Aruch, and Mishnah Berurah explains, why is that? I could tell the goy here today, right now, you work on Shabbat and I work on Sunday. Why is that not a problem? So he's explaining to you, because right now there is no 70-hour responsibility, because the business did not start yet. Since the business didn't start yet, therefore we're making conditions now, we're making bylaws. The bylaws of the business are as follows. You work on Shabbat 10 hours, and I work on a different day 10 hours without your partnership. Understand? Without your input. You work on Shabbat without my input. I work on Sunday without your input, if it's an Arab Friday, whatever it is. So therefore, now already we have something that's not the same as before. We mentioned many times. Here, you say, before there is an obligation of 70 hours, we already split. So really, there are no 70-hour week anymore. It's 50-hour week, partnership, and then it's 10 hours his responsibility, 10 hours his responsibility. Oh, now we're talking business, and that will be allowed, says Mishnah Berurah.
So you got 50 hours
partnership
working together.
Right.
And then you're splitting that Saturday. He's got his 10 hours because you're not working Shabbat, but you made a condition before you signed the contract.
Before the 70 hours, before there was even 70-hour week.
Okay, but
there is 70 hours a week right now, but it's not responsibility for both.
Okay, so you got 50 together, and then you got to split the 10-10. He's telling the guy, before I'm doing the contract, you work on Shabbat, and I'm working on Sunday.
Right, and that's not a problem. That's not a problem because there was never an initiation of 70-hour week. There was never initiation. It's only 50-hour week initiation plus 10 each. So it's not. So therefore, that's not a problem, as we know that when somebody does tshuva. Again, the initiation of Shabbat was excluded in this partnership.
Before the contract.
That's right.
Okay, but that's not a problem because
at the end of the day, thing. Yeah, that's what exactly.
You're not in the middle of the contract where you tell the guy, now all of a sudden I'm doing tshuva and I want to split my hours. Then you have to work on the wording of what you said yesterday. Okay.
Right. שידנו מתחילה קודם, it's the third line already in there. שידנו מתחילה קודם שלוחין בשותפות עבוד אתה בשבת ותיקח כפי מלאכתך, הן רב או מעט, ואני אעבוד כנגדך יום אחד בכל ויטול כפי מלאכתי. So the first condition is over here that you tell the goy you work fully on Shabbat, and whatever the profits are you take, and then I work on another day. All the profits are mine. ובשעת חלוקה ייטול העין היהודי שכר עבור השבת, והישראל ייטול יום אחד כנגדו הן רב או מעט. And the Jew takes the part of the day that the goy didn't work. So it's so basically over here it's like a trickery a little bit. It's like there is one pot. It's 70, right? You have one part, $10,000 at the end of the week, right? So it's one pot. So they both take $5,000. But the way that it was structured is that in that $10,000 there is one day yours and one day mine. And regardless who made what's his name,
because you're making $20,000 on a Saturday, and then you're making $5,000 on a Sunday.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter because you have the contract before.
Before the contract says that it's all combinable, but with that condition in mind that you take for one day or for whatever, and I take for one day whatever. And then the 50-hour split, and then now, so that will make it the heter. He says that's now you're allowed to have gains from that Shabbos that the goy work. Okay, continues. Okay. Second line, the big one line. So the problem starts when they didn't do condition and the Jew became religious in the middle of the partnership. So he became a Shabbat observer. בשעת החלוקה אומר לעין היהודי תול אתה כנגד עמלך בשבת ואני בחול. זהו ודאי אסור. So what happened was the conditions were not made, and now at the time of what's his name? The time of the splitting of the profits, he says same words. You take for the Shabbos that you work, and I take for the Sunday that I worked. So that's going to be prohibited. Okay, why? ואם לא יתנו מתחילה ובשעת הלוקה חולקו סתם בשווה, זהו בעיה בגמרא ולא הפשטם. However, so the rabbi explains over here, the problem over here was that you're telling him, you take for the work that you do on Shabbat, and I take for the work that I do on Monday, or Sunday, whatever the other day. So that means what? It's not, it didn't take your responsibility of Shabbat yet. Yeah? By you saying those words, you take for Shabbos
after you're ready.
Right, after the initiation of the business. Right. Okay. Upasak Rambam. So, however, but there is a third here. The Mishnah right away already he is introducing what the Rama said. But if it's stam, remember yesterday the word, it's just like that. Why are you not working on Shabbat? I made a promise to my father. Finished. Halas. That's it. Stam. So now the goy is working on Shabbat, and then you come to you say, you know what, you worked on Shabbat. I'm working on Monday. Finished. Now there's no fight.
And if the goy doesn't want to work on Shabbat?
And
if the goy doesn't want to work on Shabbat?
So again, if the goy doesn't work on Shabbat, but we'll see. There's different types of. Why wouldn't the goy want to work on Shabbat? Explain to me. $25,000 profit.
He might say to himself, "Hey, I want that day with my family."
Okay, so then close the shop. If everybody's happy, they're happy.
Okay.
The problem is that where I would have more concern when the goy is forcing you to work on Shabbat. Well, that was the beginning of the. Sometimes they want to buy you out,
That's what it is.
or they want to short sell you and bring in another partner. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of details in reference to that. So, but again, as long as you're, as long as you did not authorize him to what's his name? Sub your responsibility. That's very important. That's the main thing. Should be always careful on that. So the Rambam, because in an instance where there was no discussion, once the Jew becomes religious, so Rambam says still, in this case, a Jew is not allowed to, even if he did not tell the Goy to work on Shabbat, but the Goy does work on Shabbat, Rambam says no, you cannot take anything. He's Mahmir, and that's how Shulchan Aruch is Mahmir. However, Rosh says Likula. No, Rosh is the Ashkenazim, that's why we have the Ramah Ashkenazim, they're coming in and say, listen, you didn't command him to work on Shabbat for you. You didn't tell him, take my portion, take my responsibility. You said you're not working on Shabbat, that's all. So therefore, it will be allowed, says the Rosh, to take the portion from Shabbat even. He could split evenly. Okay? What do you say?
So you're saying that Stam that he told him, I can't work on Shabbat because I promised my father
before his death, yeah.
Before his death, so it doesn't work. But so the guy he could still profit from that money, the Jew, at the end of the week.
At the end of the week, right. As long as it's at the end of the week, we'll see that. It's not, cannot be a daily splitting.
Yes.
So Maran holds like Rambam, Verema pasak behagaha keharosh bimkom hevsed gadol. So Rema says if there is a lot of loss or there's a potential loss, whatever it is, there's a lot of things are moving around, says he could follow the Rosh, the leniency. However, if they, before the commencement of the business, they made conditions, therefore, like as we mentioned before, and now they are splitting it evenly at the time of splitting. So even Rambam over here, even though there is a Shabbat profit, it will be permitted, even according to Rambam, because it was before commencement of the business, as we already described, 70 hours a week. I have responsibility, shared 50 hours, 10 myself, and during other days, you're 10 on the Shabbat, then there is no problem at all. But, so the second reason is, Elo ikre adinim shebasefim harishonim. So he says, the rabbi says, you'll see that this is the foundation of this siman, this Reish Mem Hey in Shulchan Aruch, and that the very important knowledge Rabbi Chafetz Chaim just gave us. And let's start. Let's do at least one, and then we'll see what's the Erev Shabbat we have scheduled. Okay, Sadeh or Tanur? Yes, no?
No, my kids are.
No, Hashem.
No, my wife is tired, and I know she didn't stop, and my boys are just getting a little energy, so I got to take them out before it gets.
What time you want to go?
No, I want to start. I want to learn that halakha. I want to learn.
Let's go. Let's do one Sif Katan. It's a very long one, and it's a lot of information here. You're going to enjoy it. Okay, Aleph. Sif Katan Aleph on Siman Reish Mem Hey on Sif Aleph. Sadeh or Tanur. So we said over there, depends on the partnership in the field or an oven or a bedhouse or a mill. So he says all the conditions over here is, as we said already, that there has to be a preset condition before commencement of the business partnership. If there is no, it was not done so, the reason that it's a problem when the person becomes Baal Tshuva in the middle of a partnership is because he had responsibility to do work on Shabbat on his own. So he had responsibility on his head. And therefore, when he tells the Goy, you perform on your own the Shabbat labor, and he says, but all the profits, I'll work on Friday or Sunday or other days, and the profit of that day will be for me, and you, the profit of you on Shabbat. It's like he is appointing a goy to work for you on Shabbat with your own words. כאילו אמר לו, עשה אתה עבורי בשבת. It's as if he says to the goy, do me a favor, my responsibility, you would perform the tasks. Then he says to him, ואני אעשה נגד זה עבורך בכל. And then on the other day, I will do your responsibility. Really, the halacha is we don't care what you're telling him about his responsibility because he doesn't have deen of Chilul Shabbat. You do. Okay? V'havei shilucho mamash. So Tosefot explained to us, this is mamash, you are sending him to be your messenger to work on Shabbat.
That's the problem.
Yeah, the fact that you said, I'm going to work for you on Monday, so halachically it doesn't have any bearings. The problem is Shabbat, there is bearings. It's like you are sending him to perform tasks for you on your responsibility. That is why it's asur. ולפי זה אם שותפו האין היהודי בעצמו אינו עושה כלום. Okay? Some, however, now there's a different scenario. There's a different scenario. You know, Baruch Hashem, most people today are not laborers by hands. Most businesses today, I tell the laborers what to do. A manager, usually 99.9%, very rare that you see owners going down there and working with their hands. It's very rare, but you've seen it. We've seen it, Baruch Hashem. AKA Amnon's Pizza.
Some places
you know what I'm talking about?
Some places.
You know who Amnon Pizza is? From Borough Park?
No.
The guy owns buildings upon buildings upon buildings all over the place. He sells to the whole world. Amnon's Pizza, frozen pizza, Amnon's Pizza. His pizza.
And he works in his own factory.
And he comes and he works and he cleans the tables in the shop.
But I guess that keeps his sanity.
Okay? Out of this world. This guy is out of this world. Make a lot of money.
So that's why you see from there.
Very rare you'll see that.
Very rare.
Good. So this question over here, same thing. What happens is you tell the goy to work on you, take your portion of the Shabbat, to work your responsibility in the Shabbat. In reality, he doesn't do anything. The goy doesn't do nothing. What does he do? He's a manager. Most businesses today, the owners are just managing the property, the projects.
Yeah.
So he says, he doesn't do nothing. רק שאין היהודים אחרים הבאים לאפות מסיקים בו בתנור של השתפות. There are other goyim who come and they throw coals into the fire for the ovens, right? ונותנים סך מש בשכרם. And the goyim are getting salaries. But there is a partnership, there's an end result of profits. Mm-hmm. In that case, יכול ישראל לקבל שותפו שכרו המגיע לו לפי חלקו. In that case, even though the Jew became Shabbat observant after the commencement of the business, since there's no labor by the goy and you told him, you take your responsibility, you be managing on Shabbat, and I'll be managing on Sunday, Monday, whatever. It's managing. Managing is not asur.
Oh, so again, you're working with the words. It's all
that's
wording yourself in different...
Very important. Even if there was no condition at all before commencement of the business. However, very diligently, Mishnah Berurah points it out many times, is going to be learning this. Be very careful of splitting of the profits of the day. If each day the profits are split, that will be a problem. אלא ייקח ממנו סתם בהבלעת שאר הימים כדי שלא יהיה שכר שבת. You should take it all in one stride throughout the week salary, income, profit, not because of labor of Shabbat. Now the question is, we learned a lot about Marit Ayin on Shabbat over here, that people will speculate. So we're not worried. Why? We're not worried that they're going to say, oh, this guy is working for Shabbat, for the Jews' needs. Because everybody knows this partnership is with the goy, there's no problem. Where is the best scenario today? It's a T-Mobile store. T-Mobile store.
Open a store like that, and
T-Mobile, you have partnership with the goy. He works on Shabbat, where there's profit. Also, obviously, you don't want to close on Shabbat, and I don't think you're allowed to close on Shabbat if you're a T-Mobile franchisee.
It's like opening in a shopping center.
Yeah.
You're not allowed. I had a problem with that.
Yes. So many shopping centers have the problem.
I left my booth and I left.
Yeah.
I left all the merchandise and I left.
And what happened?
I went home. They wanted to give me a fine. I never showed up until Motzei Shabbat.
And
then Baruch Hashem, the guy was next door. I said, look, I don't know you. You don't know me. Here's my booth. I won't be here. It's like somebody. I said, nobody will be here. just make sure, just you're here. If anybody asks that the guy's not around, he'll be back. I left, came back after Shabbat. They wanted to give me a fine. I said, no, I'm not paying the fine. I had an emergency. And then I found a Goya that worked for me. But on that day, there was no money on that Shabbat. It's what's crazy. Anyways, one day I'll tell you my...
How much is a fine?
2,500.
Every time, every Shabbat?
If you don't have somebody there. Your boat is... If you're closed, but I was open, but I had nobody there. So technically, they can't give me a fine.
Right.
Because I left everything open, so they didn't care.
So what happens? It stays
No,
open
they didn't
overnight? There's nobody coming to steal?
No, they close the shopping center. It's a big shopping center, and you rent booth inside.
Like a flea market you're talking about.
No, it's not a flea market. It's a nice shopping center, and they have booth. Yeah, if you want to call it like this, if you want to call it a flea market.
Okay.
And that's it. So I left it open with the merchandise, and then I left. I said, Hashem, okay. For me, it was just like,
Nobody's going to steal because...
Exactly, there's people working everywhere, so you can't grab it. So that's pretty much what I did. Yeah, so sometimes in life you have to take sacrifice and know Hashem has a better plan.
We go lighter or you want to leave?
I would like to say yes, but you know the problem that I have?
No, I would love to stay also, but I'm not going to hold you. I don't want...
Thank you, Philip. Just no respect. I got it.
Bezrat Hashem.
It's called Shalom Bayit.
Go with ease, achieve all your goals today without any problems.
Amen.
That should make a lot of money without any headaches.
Amen. Bezrat Hashem. And Bezrat Hashem, I really like that. I don't know if you after the holidays,
Yeah, of course.
I used to do this every morning for many, many years.